Good afternoon and welcome to 11 to Live News at 4 o'clock. I'm Faith Jesse.
And I'm Jonathan Martin. Right now at 4 o'clock, we are helping you stay weather aware as we track storms moving right here toward Metro Atlanta. In fact, a live look outside shows the calm before the storm. There is a chance of damaging winds, hail, and even a few tornadoes. We have team coverage for you this afternoon. Latasha Givens is helping you get prepared for the storms, but we want to start with meteorologist Melissa Nord breaking down this storm threat.
And guys, our severe weather chances and threat levels have actually increased over the course today as we've seen more and more model data coming together. This is the big picture of the outlook for the day. Level 4 threat over Kentucky and southern Ohio. But we zoom in and you see over Atlanta area, we've got a level 3 threat for western Georgia down through I-85 and 75 and a level 2 threat up along I-85 in northeast Georgia. The storms right now, though, are still west of our area. We can see them popping throughout central Tennessee and back into Mississippi. And as we look to the north, you can see those tornado watch boxes in effect there up into Kentucky and Ohio. So our storm threats, let's break it down for you and then we'll talk about the timing. A lot of this event is going to be overnight while you may be already in bed. So I want you to have multiple ways to get warnings while you're asleep. Damaging winds will be our biggest severe weather player. That's a high risk for us. Low chance of hail, moderate risk of some tornadoes that could be embedded within thunderstorms, especially along the leading edge of the thunderstorms. So let's talk about timing. You saw those storms on the radar. They were still west of our area by quite a bit. The next few hours for us stay mild and dry. But as we push the forecast track out into 9 o'clock tonight, we see the initial shower and thunderstorm activity pushing in. And then as we get closer to midnight, right on top of the metro, numerous thunderstorms on top of the area. Some of those will stay strong and severe past the midnight hour, and we'll even track them into the early hours on Wednesday morning. So guys, strong and severe storms possible tonight. We'll break down more of what to expect into your Wednesday behind us front coming up.
Melissa, thank you so much. 11 to Live's Latasha Givens is continuing our team coverage. So Latasha, you actually spent the day speaking with the state and Georgia Power.
That's right. Good afternoon, Faith and Jonathan. We talked to GEMA, the state's emergency management agency, as well as Georgia Power, and they both told me they have crews ready on hand to respond to any potential damage. Now, right now, the biggest threat has to do with fallen trees and down power lines. Here are some safety tips that Georgia Power sent over to us. They tell us the 3 things you can do before, during, and after a storm. Now, beforehand, make sure you have your emergency kit and family safety plan ready. Unplug major appliances and have cell phones and all communications devices charged. Now, during the storm, it's important to stay inside, away from windows and doors, and be sure to avoid contact with conductors of electricity. Those are your appliances, metal objects, and water. Now, after the storm, if you do have any down power lines on your property, make sure you do not touch them or any low-hanging wires, and certainly don't attempt to pull fallen tree limbs off of any wire. We talked to an arborist with Save a Tree as they work to get as many trees removed around the metro as possible before tonight's storm. Now, right now, it may be too late to get a professional out to your home, but Anthony Ursachi has a tip for homeowners.
For a regular homeowner, you can look up into the canopies of your trees, look for any dead wood. If you see any sort of decaying bark tissue, also called a canker, that would also be an indicator that there's a weakness at that point where the tree would definitely need to be removed.
And Ursachi says if you do find any of those weak spots or fungus or weakness on your trees, it may be a good idea to stay someplace else tonight before you can get an inspector to come out. Faith and Jonathan, back to you.
Latasha, thank you so much. And